she wants to take off.
Present, ma'am. There we go.
Gwen Sanders. Kate Chasen.
Present.
Kate Clark.
Present.
Kenya Taylor.
Present.
Nicole Murray Ramirez. Norma Chavez Peterson. I thought I saw her. Norma Chavez Peterson. Rashid Essa.
Present.
Ryan Garcia.
Present.
Samuel Troy. Shane Harris. Summer Steffen.
Present.
Taha Hassan. Tammy Gillies.
Present.
Vince Catula.
Present.
Warsan Arton.
Present.
This is Daphne Watson. I'm present.
Thank you, Ms. Watson. And we do have a quorum.
Yes. Excellent.
Excuse me, this is Gwen Sanders, and I'm present.
Thank you. We have 17 present. Did we miss anybody else who wasn't called on as a commission member?
Norma Chavez Peterson said she's frozen. She's going to go out and try to come back in.
Oh, great. Thank you. Then we will know when she joins us back. I thought I had seen her.
Yeah, she's, from her side, she's frozen. I see her picture too, but she's going to try again.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And Kara Desert, it looks like she's joined us on as an attendee. Ms. Desert, are you able to hear us or respond present? And Ms. Norma Chavez Peterson, have you been able to rejoin us? I see your name as a call-in.
I think Kara responded present in the chat.
Okay.
This is Kara Desert. Had some technical issues. I am present. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great.
Oh, there she is. Thank you.
This is Norma. I'm also here on my phone, but we'll be back on the computer in a minute.
Thank you.
This is Taha Hassan, and I'm present.
Thank you. Were there any others that we did not call? Not hearing anybody further, Madam Chair, we have 20 commission members present.
Great. Okay, great. So we have a quorum.
Yes, we do. And we have one public speaker for non-agenda comment.
All right.
We have Michelle McCurdy, phone number ending 6346, who would like to speak with us. And for the record, Commission Member Harris apparently just joined. Commission Member Harris, are you present?
I am present.
Thank you. If we could unmute Michelle McCurdy, phone number ending 6346. Looks like Ms. McCurdy has not phoned in. She did confirm this morning she would be, so we can come back to her at a later time if you would like to at the end of the meeting, Madam Chair, and see if she's able to attend.
Absolutely.
With that, Madam Chair, we're ready for the next item, which is the introduction of commission members. We had, Mr. Austin Jones hasn't been able to introduce himself yet, but as he is not quite present, we could move to the our two newest members. If we could move to the slide with the introduction information. We have Commission Member Tammy Gillies and Commission Member Estela de los Rios. Madam Chair, they're welcome to introduce themselves if Ms. Gillies would like to proceed.
Thank you, and I'm excited to be coming on with Estela. So thank you for bringing me onto the commission. I look forward to working with everyone. I am the Regional Director of the Anti-Defamation League. I have been with the ADL for 13 years, and we work to fight hate in our community and around the world. So look forward to working with everyone.
Welcome. Welcome.
And now Ms. De los Rios.
Good morning, buenos dias, marhaba. My name is Estela de los Rios. I am the Executive Director of CSA San Diego County Fair Housing, and I'm very honored and pleased to work alongside a prestigious group of leaders. So thank you for the honor. I have been working in civil rights for about 30 years plus, fighting human trafficking. I've served working with our champion DA Summer, addressing this issue, attended United Nations in 2014 on behalf of Commission of Women. I've also addressed fair housing issues. If everyone recalls in Escondido, where they didn't want to rent to undocumented, I was very pivotal in that fight as well. I sit on various boards, president of the San Diego Fair Housing Alliance Board, Lemon Grove Thrive, East County Justice Coalition, a member of a National Fair Housing Alliance, and many councils. But I'm very pleased to be here today, and I look forward to working with all of you. It says, what am I passionate about? Civil rights and human rights for everyone, opportunity regardless of race, religion, gender, sexual orientation, disability. I'm very passionate about that. Personal bit of information. I was born in Tepic, Nayarit, so I'm an immigrant. Been here since I was 5 years old. I have 3 daughters and 6 grandchildren. So thank you. I think I covered everything.
All the important.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And Madam Chair, Ms. McCurdy is on the line. We just weren't able to hear from her. She's ready to speak if now is a good time.
That's great. Yeah, let's do that.
Michelle McCurdy, if you could state your name for the record and provide your public comment, you're limited to 2 minutes.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Thank you, everybody, for letting me speak. I appreciate the opportunity. I'm Michelle McCurdy. I'm a nurse practitioner here in San Diego, working at City College at the Student Health Clinic that represents a lot of underprivileged minority populations. So I just wanted, I prepared a statement. As we prepared to protest peacefully on behalf of Black Lives on Saturday, August 29th, our group ran across a threatening message from a local Facebook group named Defend East County. It read as follows, and I'm only going to read the highlights as due to my limited time. Good morning, East County. Today they come back to Santee. Let's make it the last time. Show them that we will not tolerate their terrorist bullshit in our backyard. Wear red. Make sure no one is with you that can't be vouched for or vetted. If you don't know them, ask them. Make a friend or out a terrorist. Win-win. Stay hydrated. Let's get pics of every vehicle, license plate, and driver. Watch the off-ramps. Watch the parking lots. Watch the parking lots on Mission Gorge. They're meeting in the Kohl's Lowe's parking lot, Sprouts. They've previously attacked people in the Mission Fed parking building and near Walmart. I will continue to update you and go live soon. And then a PS, special surprise for the terrorists today. You'll know when you'll hear it. You'll know when you hear it and see it. So I realize this post in itself is not a crime, but as a member of the San Diego community, a mother, a nurse, a US Navy veteran, I had never ever experienced this kind of threatening language in my own country. We should not feel fear in exercising our First Amendment rights. It is not okay. I fear the violence brought on by far right-wing groups to Portland and Kenosha will manifest themselves here in San Diego. We should not wait. A recent article in the Daily Beast highlighted how this same group, who puts the very blue lives and those of our firefighters that they claim to support in danger through their vigilante efforts to assist in the fires plaguing our state. One video on their page shows one of their leaders complaining that the group was not allowed past police barricades without an official escort, and that he had found a back road onto one of the ranches they were trying to access. Thankfully, they were caught before they did so, but what will happen next time? So I would like to know what this commission is planning to do to help reduce tensions and truly protect our community. It is very much needed. Whatever the approach, I'm willing to help. Let us here in San Diego be a model for how a community can actively engage to bridge these divides before something tragic happens. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Ms. McCurdy. And for the record, We have Nicole Murray Ramirez, member Murray Ramirez, and member Samuel Choi have joined the meeting.
Great. Thank you, Ms. McCurdy.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
this is Commission Member Harris. I know that we are not doing the specific work yet around these specific issues, but I would like to ask that as soon as we have all commission members seated, and as soon as we launch the work of this commission, as we figure out what we're going to be focusing on, I would ask that this subject matter that and we thank those who gave public comment, that this Defendees County group or the discussion around these specific issues that have been discussed today would be placed on a future agenda item for discussion. I don't know if it's focused around hate groups or around Defendees County, this group that we've been hearing a lot about, but I do think that this should be up for one of our first discussions because people's rights, must be protected, and I think that this commission has an obligation to that.
Absolutely. Is she still there, Ms. McCurdy? Thank you very much for your public comment. We'll move to the next agenda item. Approval of the minutes for July 14th, July 28th, August 11th, August 25th, and September 8th.
Chair Nash, I'd like to move to adopt all those minutes.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Second. Gwen Sanders, I'll second.
Thank you, Gwen. Any discussion?
I have only a very simple item. I just wanted to thank the county for the very concise method in which they collected the minutes. They did a wonderful job.
Great job. Great job. Thank you, Commissioner Roberts. Okay, can we call for the vote?
Yes, Madam Chair, we'll do a roll call vote with the members present. We'll start with Commissioner Member Santos.
Aye.
Commission Member Gore.
Aye.
Desert.
Aye.
Watson.
Aye.
Nash.
Aye.
Morones.
Aye.
De los Rios. De los Rios.
She wasn't in the meetings.
She wasn't in the meeting.
I'm on mute. Aye.
No, she's here.
Oh, she is? Oh.
Yes. Roberts.
Aye.
Sanders.
Aye.
Chasen.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Taylor.
Aye.
Murray Ramirez. I believe he's on a phone in. Chavez Peterson.
Aye.
Essa.
Aye.
Garcia.
Aye.
Choi.
Aye.
Harris.
Aye.
Stefan.
Yes.
Hassan.
Yes.
Gillies.
I have to abstain.
That's okay. Noted for the record. Katula.
Aye.
Arton.
Aye.
That motion carries with one abstention.
Great. Great. Okay, we're going to move to the adoption of the Conflict of Interest Code, agenda item 6.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Commission's required to file a statement of economic interest because you're officials who make or influence government decisions. The most recent example is when the Commission was asked to provide input on the request for proposal for a consultant. Filing a statement of economic interest, commonly referred to as a Form 700, provides transparency and accountability by disclosing an official's financial interests. In addition, it assists officials, you all, in reminding yourselves of potential conflicts of interest so that you can abstain from participating in such decisions. We have provided you a conflict of interest code for your approval to be forwarded to the Board of Supervisors for their approval. The statement of economic interest would require the disclosure of investments, business entities, trusts, real property, income, gifts, and travel payments in categories. It should be noted that other committees and commissions of similar type who provide input also file statements of economic interest. Once approved by the board, then you'll have a window to provide that. And in addition, we'll provide you a link for additional training on conflicts of interest. This does require a vote.
I'd make a motion to adopt the conflict of interest code.
Second?
Who is the second? I'm sorry.
Second, Sheriff Gore.
Thank you.
Have any discussion?
We'll do a roll call vote then, Madam Chair.
Yeah.
If you're ready. Santos?
Aye.
Gore?
Aye.
Desert?
Aye.
Watson?
Aye.
Nash?
Aye.
Morones?
Aye.
De los Rios?
Aye.
Roberts?
Aye.
Sanders?
Aye.
Chasen?
Aye.
Clark?
Aye.
Taylor? Taylor?
Aye. Aye.
Thank you. Murray Ramirez?
Aye.
Chavez Peterson?
Aye.
Essa?
Aye.
I thought I heard an aye, but if you could repeat that, Member Essa?
Aye.
Thank you. Garcia?
Aye.
Troy?
Aye.
Harris?
Aye.
Stefan?
Aye.
Hassan?
Yes.
Gillies?
Aye.
Did we catch that? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Aye.
Thank you. Katula? Member Katula?
Aye.
And Arton?
Aye.
Thank you. That motion carries with unanimous vote, Madam Chair.
Great, great. On to the next agenda item. Process for commission nominations.
Thank you, Madam Chair. At the last meeting, the Commission voted to identify communities currently underrepresented on the Commission. The Commission also voted to not make any appointments until first establishing the process of how the Commission will make those nominations. Today, we provide you updated information to assist you in identifying communities currently underrepresented on the Commission. Once done, the Commission will establish the process for making nominations for its 5 remaining seats. We start with the resolution establishing the Commission because it provides guidance for the Commission to consider in making its nominations. We have updated the demographics since the last meeting, and those demographics were provided as part of your agenda packet sent Friday. We'll also review them this morning. In addition, we took the demographics information and placed it onto a one-page table as a quick reference document. We'll start with the demographics and conclude with the summary table. We do note the Commissioner data is current as of September 18th, 2020, with 26 members total present. Total number of responses vary based on the response rates, and the countywide data is compiled from SANDAG, San Diego Health and Human Services Agency, Pew Research Center, and Williams Institute from UCLA School of Law. These data ranged in reporting periods from 2018 to 2020. And as we review the demographics, we provided the county demographics for reference, but not as statistical requirements. If we go to the next slide. This slide demonstrates the population by supervisorial district for the county and on the Commission itself. Numerically, what this equates to on the Commission in D1, there are 3 members in that geographic area, D2, 6 members, D3, 3, D4, 8, and D5, 4. The next is just a depiction on a map to illustrate the boundaries of those supervisorial districts and the corresponding percentages. In addition, we provide the Commission's age breakdown, where we have 4 members of the 15 to 24-year-old range, 25 to 44, 6 members, 45 to 64 is 6 members, and 65 plus are 6 members. In addition, we provide the percentage breakdown for you, so you can compare against how the county's demographics also. The next slide depicts the ethnicity composition of the Commission as self-reported in comparison to what the county also has in their demographics. The breakdown for the commission is the 6 identified as Hispanic Latino, 7 as white, 8 as Black, 2 as Asian and Pacific Islander, 1 Middle Eastern Arab, and 1 Indigenous. On the gender identity, we have 11 males, 12 for people identified, 11 as male, 12 as female, and 1 as transgender. And in regards to religion, the commission identified 14 affiliated with Christianity, 5 as other, and 4 unaffiliated. The further breakdown by the religion of the other subset, 2 identified as Jewish, 3 as Muslim. In regards to sexual orientation, on the commission, 21 members identified as heterosexual and 3 as LGBTQA, or LGBTQ+. This page is a one-page summary taking all the data that was part of those side-by-side comparisons, those demographic slides that we just went over, to give you a quick snapshot of all that information to the extent you want to use that in your discussions. And we'd like to conclude our presentation with identifying the next steps pursuant to your votes and decisions at your last meeting. There are 2 steps. The first being identifying those communities currently underrepresented on the commission. And we ask the commission focus on this first step until completed. And once completed, then moving on to the second step when the commission would establish the process for nominating individuals. This is in keeping with the decisions you all have made at the September 8th meeting. With that, that concludes staff's presentation. We would suggest, Madam Chair, that we discuss the communities first before moving on to process, and staff does have some recommendations or suggestions for your consideration at that point when we talk about process.
Okay, okay. All right, so if we go back to the graphs that you just presented, which were wonderful, if we talk about communities that are underrepresented, if I could start out, my summary is that in terms of population, if I'm correct, it's D1, D3, and D5 are somewhat weak in terms of population. Age, that 25 to 44-year-old group is a little weak. In terms of ethnicity, Hispanic, Latino, even white, Asian, and Pacific Islanders. Gender, looks like male is a little weak. From a religious standpoint, it looks like we're doing okay. We could use a subset of Buddhist there. Sexual orientation, we're doing okay. So those were just my analysis based on the criteria and the graphs that were provided. Can I ask others what their input might be?
Without sounding, you know, I sometimes feel a little bit like I'm kind of left out in the breeze here, but I mean, this is all about getting a diverse population represented, and I have absolutely no issue with that. But it looks like, you know, in terms of the great geographical diversity, we are really, really lopsided in downtown San Diego, or, you know, the clustered San Diego thing. So representatives, actually East County is not too bad. North County, not quite so good. And Supervisor Gaspar's region is severely underrepresented. I was really glad to see, I believe it was Tammy Gillis comes from that thing. So it's one of the reasons I absolutely was wonderfully happy that you came on with the nomination from Nicole Ramirez. So anyways, I'll be quiet. I'd like to see a little bit, you know, it looks like we've got the, you know, the Black population pretty well represented. We've got, you know, we're a little short on the Pacific Islanders, and probably a couple more Latinos would be good.
Right.
I would like to, Madam Chair, raise also a concern on this. I do think that member Kenya Taylor has raised the concern about the lack of African-American men on this commission, and I do commend our strong Black women who are represented here, including yourself, Madam Chair, but I do think that Black men should be represented here. I think that beside me and one other person, maybe we may be the only Black men represented on this commission, and I think that perspective is important. So I did want to raise that.
Okay.
This is Enrique Morones. I've been trying to raise my hand, but I don't think you can see me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We have, just for the commission's perspective, we do have a raise hand feature. As a panelist, you can raise your hand, and if you've dialed in, you could hit *9 and it will raise your hand. We do have people in the queue with hands raised already.
Okay, can you monitor that, Claudia, in terms of order?
Yes,
I don't
we
want to
have
say anyone.
We have Samuel Choi with his hand raised, and we have Kara Desert with her hand raised.
Okay, and then Enrique, Commissioner Monroe-List. Yeah. Okay.
And then
Let's
Tammy
go in that
Gillies.
order, please.
Member Choi?
Yes, I'd just like to highlight the population of Asian Pacific Islander. I being representing the seat for the SD API Coalition, wanted to make sure we are able to recruit a member from the Pacific Islander community. As far as I know, myself and member Ryan Garcia are the only Asian Americans represented here. But knowing how broad and diverse the API community is, and as it is standing right now, it is underrepresented in the commission. I'd like to know if the current pool of candidates have anyone that identify as Pacific Islander, and if not, is there a better way that we could recruit from that community?
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Choi. Next.
The next one would be Kara Desert.
Thank you, folks. I just have two comments. One, the demographics show that we need to increase our Latino representation here. That's important because of population, but I also want to say it's important because of geography. We're in the largest border region, and I would like to see some statistics in San Diego here. We have immigrants, we have refugees, they cross ethnic groups. I'd love to see what percentage of our commission identify as immigrants or refugees and to include that analysis. We have the 11th largest refugee population in our region, in addition to a large Latino population. I would like to see the demographics for refugees and immigrants, and I'd like to advocate again. Welcome, Estela. Welcome, Tammy. I would love to see more Latino leaders here at this commission. Thank you so much.
Our next speaker is Tammy Gillies.
Hi, I just wanted to ask about the statistics because I'm just looking obviously at the Jewish community, and I think 2 commissioners out of 26 is not 9%, but also 2% of the county population, that is not correct. So I'm not sure where the numbers are coming from, but it's closer to 8% of the county population. So I just want to see about double checking those numbers.
Madam Chair, I can respond to where we obtained information on the religion breakdown.
Thank you.
We did obtain it from the Pew Forum on the religious landscape study for the metropolitan areas of the San Diego metro area. If there are other resources that we should be referring to for greater accuracy, we're welcome for that input and can do so.
Thank you.
Commissioner Gillies, could you follow up with some working with our staff here in terms of the data? Want to make sure it's representative and it's correct.
Would be happy to. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commission Member.
Thank you.
We had Commissioner Morones.
Yes, thank you. I agree with Mr. Choi and Ms. Desert's comments about the need for increase in Asian Pacific and Latino. And while we're looking at the underrepresented, we also by de facto are looking at the overrepresented. And without a doubt, overwhelmingly, the Black African American community is way overrepresented. And I love that community. And I know a couple of members have said the lack of Black men. So what I recommend is that a couple of the Black women turn their seats over to a Black man, because the African American Black community is way overrepresented. And the other thing, I don't know if we have any atheists when you look at the religious breakdown. So I think that would be important as well.
Is that in the other category?
Could be.
And it would be how they self-identified. Other would have captured anybody who didn't identify with the other categories.
Okay.
Yeah. I identified as unaffiliated.
Excuse me?
To answer Commissioner Moranis, I am in that classification and I identified as unaffiliated.
Okay.
Madam Chair, we also have Nicole Murray Ramirez as the next speaker and Member Taylor following.
Oh, great. Okay. That order?
Yes. Member Nicole Murray Ramirez?
Oh, okay. Yes, I think we all realize that the increase since C-19, the epidemic, has been an increase of hate crimes against the Asian Pacific Islander community. So I do think it's very important that we get more representation. Also, obviously, the hate crimes has always been high among the Jewish community. And of course, the immigration and those issues have increased it in the Latino communities. So I think that these are three communities that definitely need more representation.
Okay.
And then Member Taylor.
Hello, good morning. Yeah, I appreciate all the comments that were stated here today. One of the factors that has not been addressed too much are the economic issues, the economic inequalities that continue to plague our county. And so when we're thinking about who our next commissioners will be, it's important for us to address those economic needs, because as you know, those who make $17,000 a year is a lot different than those that make $117,000 a year. And so sometimes we need different supports and solutions. In addition to that, I do believe that there is a need to have the Black man's voice heard from himself, not from someone else representing him. And I would definitely like to see more discussion regarding the inclusion of Black men, because what I've learned participating in a number of community partnerships throughout the county as a licensed marriage and family therapist, right now in San Diego County, there's a lot of discussion around Black issues regarding refugee, asylee, and immigration issues. However, our Black community members are saying we need our voice heard. Sometimes there's different needs that exist, and I just want to make sure that we're inclusive to everyone so no one's left behind.
Thank you, Commissioner Taylor.
Madam Chair, we also have the following in the queue: Member Roberts, Member Chavez-Peterson, Member Harris.
In that order, please?
Yes. Member Roberts?
I will yield to for the time being to the people that are following me.
Member Chavez-Peterson?
Yes, good morning, commissioners. So thank you for that information and the data. I also want to thank our public speaker early this morning. I believe her name was Michelle. To me, what she shared reminds me why we're here and why we have to sit a commission and fill the commission as soon as possible. I really think we could literally spend another year making sure that we have every single voice represented. And I think it'll be a disservice to the public in terms of us not reaching consensus. And again, we could go on and we can cut this, apple, I don't know how many different ways. I think we've got a great commission thus far. I think this analysis really shows where the gaps are. I'm happy to have a whole nother conversation about Black men, but I think it's very clear that, at least if you look at the data right now, that the gaps are more Latinos, API folks, people that are young, 24 to 40 something, I forgot what that category was, and geography, the D1, D3. My recommendation, I make a motion that we, at least for the sake of moving forward, this is not going to be the be all and end all commission, but let's get to work and let's do the best we can to have as much diversity and inclusion as possible, recognizing that nothing is always perfect. And so my recommendation is that we, I don't know, I guess I make a motion that the categories that guide how we recruit and figure out the next steps in the process is that we identify Latino API as ethnic gaps, young people, and then those geographic districts. And then once we agree on those, if we agree on it, or we just have a vote, is there consensus that these are the gaps? And then we then can move forward on the process. If not, we could spend another year making sure that the diversity and inclusion is perfect. I think we've done great so far, and there's always room for improvement. Thank you.
I second that motion.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make an amendment that we include Native Americans. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I accept that amendment. So Latino, API, and Native American.
Thank you. This is Gwen Sanders.
Thank you, Gwen.
You're welcome.
This was Enrique Morones seconding.
I will take my comment time now. We are, according to the list, we're well represented by on the indigenous and the Native American population. I would like to ask that we specifically say that on your motion that we have 2 additional Latino representatives, 1 additional Asian American, and try to fill those with people from districts 3 and 1.
D1, yeah, D1, 3, and 5 looked like it was a little short. 1, 3, and 5.
Commission Member Harris here. Commission Member Harris here, I believe, prior to Member Chavez Peterson's motion, I was set to speak. I do wanted to ask Ms. Claudia, and I totally agree with Member Chavez Peterson. I think we need to get to work. But Claudia, I have a question on the religion basis. I didn't hear a lot in context of the Muslim community. Can you tell us just where the Muslim community is represented on this commission in a broad level?
I'm looking back at the slide for religion. We have, on religion, we have within the commission as a subset, 13.6% of the commission identifies as Muslim. And the data we have on the religion, Muslim as a percentage of county identified at 1%.
Okay. So they're overrepresented. Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
They're overrepresented.
We had a motion by Commission Member Roberts. We didn't hear if there was a second or not.
I seconded it twice. Oh no, I'm sorry. I seconded the.
Yeah, I had a motion to amend it to actually specifically numbers.
I'd like the second Commission Member Roberts on her amendment motion. I don't know if that. I don't know.
I have a question. Sorry, on the amendment, Commissioner Roberts is so we have only 5 seats left, right? Because we appointed 2 last meeting. So we have 5. How many seats do we have left?
We have 5
4
seats
left for the identified as underserved community and 1 individual left.
Okay.
As we understand.
Claudia, yeah, please. Claudia, could you clarify that? And please go back over the motions because I'm confused.
So we will try to summarize these to make sure that we have these accurately. If we are incorrect, members of the motion could, once we conclude, correct us where needed. The original motion by Chavez Peterson was to delineate the following 4 categories to guide the nominations for the 4 seats: Latino, API, youth, and then geographic districts of 1 and 3, and that was seconded by Mr. Morones. We would ask for clarification on the geographic distribution, whether that's residency requirement or does it also include work? In other words, somebody could work there but not live there, or is the intent of the commission that the geographic districts be residents? There was an amendment to that original motion by Gwen Sanders to add Native American as a category, which was seconded by Morones and Chavez, which was accepted by the original maker of the motion, Chavez Peterson, and accepted also by the second of that original motion. Commission member Roberts made a suggestion to amend the motion, which now has categories of Latino, API, youth, geographic districts of 1 and 3, and Native American, to specify 2 of the seats be for Latino representations, and 1 additional and 1 seat for API, and preferably those seats from districts 1 and 3. I did not catch whether there was additional specificity in Commission Member Roberts' amendment suggestion.
That's fine.
So just for a point of clarification.
And that was seconded by Commission Member Harris. Sorry for that.
Okay, for the sake of discussion, the indigenous here, it says 4%. Current commission is comprised of 4%. The county is 0.4. So why are we including Native American if we're already overrepresented?
That's what I was saying.
This is Estella. I raised my hand, but
I'm sorry.
No one's calling on me, but I see a deficiency in Middle Eastern. I would like to see at least another Middle Eastern representation. If you see there, it's 2.5 of the county and they're only represented 4%.
That's overrepresented. That's overrepresentation. We need to deal with underrepresentation right now.
That's right.
All right, so hold.
Make a comment. I've also been raising my hand, but I'm not sure that's working. I would like to, I think it was Commissioner Murray Ramirez that was talking about also the consideration of targets of hate crimes. So I think you can't just look at demographics, but you have to look at what's going on in our world and in the community. And I would say that that's the LGBTQ community, that's the Black community, that's the Jewish community, and the Latino community. So there's all sorts of statistics on this. I'm sure all the commissioners know them, but I think we need to take that into account as a commission that's trying to be representative of those who need it most.
Madam Chair, we also have Member Hassan and Member Murray Ramirez with hands raised, and Chavez Peterson. So it's Hassan, Murray Ramirez, Peterson, Chavez Peterson.
Yes, thank you. And I agree with all of us when we talk about a fair representation of all the segments of our society, to be as diverse as possible and as representative as possible. But in the same time, I would like to remind myself and everyone that we are here to stand for one another. I am a Muslim, an Arab, a North African, but I don't stand only for the issues related to my community. I stand whenever there is any category, any community of my fellow San Diegans being victim of hate crime or any injustice, then I'm here for all of them. And I would like to remind everyone that we are here for one another. Thank you.
Commission Member Chavez Peterson.
I'll cede my time to Commissioner Santos, who asked on the chat to speak.
Then we also had Delphine Watson also, who would ask to speak after that. Murray Ramirez.
Yes, I agree with District Attorney Summers concerning the hate crime issues. And are we, because I don't think we're well represented by the Jewish community. What was the statistics on that? Were we up to par on that? Because I don't think so.
We're actually overrepresented on the Jewish community, but not necessarily on the new data that Tammy Gillis has said needs to be provided.
Yes, because I think there's a difference in what Tammy said and what the statistics about the population.
We can look up the, once we receive the information of where to look up the, if there's more specific or better data set points out there. Currently on the commission, the Jewish representation, or those who identified as Jewish, is 9.1% based on self-reporting.
Thank you.
Okay. Are we done with everyone's comments?
No, Commission Member Santos and Commission Member Watson.
I would just like to say thank you for the comments about all of us being here to protect human rights. I said that at the last meeting, and I hope we remember that. I also want to say thank you for adding Indigenous. I realize that the demographics show that we're only 0.4% of the population, but that's because we've been decimated since this country was founded, since contact. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of Native Americans were wiped out in California, this beautiful, pristine land that we managed for 12,000 years, proven by science, was so coveted that we are an endangered group of people. That being said, my one seat on here, I know SCTCA, Southern California Tribal Chairmen, has a seat on the commission. So if you all want to add someone else besides a Native American, I am fine with that. I will use my voice to represent our tribes as good as I can, but I will say this, San Diego County has more Native American, well, more tribes. They are Kumeyaay, Cahuilla, Luiseño, Cupeño. San Diego has more tribes than any other county in the United States. And we do have a lot to say about inequalities, about hate crimes, and about being dehumanized. And we're still dehumanized. So I can't wait for this commission to get started in doing its work, because while we're all discussing the demographics and the seats, hate crimes are going on in a way that they never have. And I may only be 47, but history shows that this country is being divided as we speak. So I give the seat to whoever. Let's just choose them and get going, please.
Our next speaker is Commissioner Member Watson, and thereafter Commission Member Taylor. And Ms. Peterson also has her hand remaining.
Hi, this
And
is
Mr. Maroney says
Commissioner Watson, and I consider that I think we need to identify who we want to nominate, or take the nomination from whatever the area is, and so we can consider them and vote on them and let's move forward. If we can slice and dice the community in many different ways. It's biracial people. There are people from all kinds of backgrounds and groups that we can spend the next months continuing bandy back and forth the same conversation about, I want this one or I want that. You know, we have certain number of seats left. People can nominate whomever. They fit into the categories, or we could seek the ones that we think are the most underrepresented and move forward. We all speak about and address the needs of all people. I know that the work I've done for the last 40 years, I've never just spoken or addressed the needs of one particular group, my own group. In fact, I am Native American and African American. So I know that we can be here forever, but we do have huge work to get done, and we need to move as expeditiously as we can. So if we can identify who the groups are, we can take nominations, and then we can vote upon those nominations and move this matter forward.
Thank you, Commissioner Watson. Next.
Our next speaker would be Member Taylor with Chavez Peterson and then De Los Rios.
We spent a lot of time talking about race and religion. In addition to that, it's important for us to be mindful, even though that I'm a Black woman, I live in the unincorporated part of town. Most of my professional career has been in Ramona, Campo, Julian, the back country, which is, you know, normally I'm the only Black face that I see. And so while we're finalizing this list, it's important for us also to look at issues like mental health. Who's impacted by mental health? Who's impacted by the child welfare service, foster care system? Again, that goes back to economic issues, also health disparities. What about our homeless or unsheltered community members? There are so many people that could bring value to our commission that might have a diverse perspective that we're missing. So when I speak of inclusion, I know we can't tap into every single possible opportunity, but life is bigger than race and religion. There's so many extra factors that shape people.
Thank you, Commissioner Taylor.
We have Commissioner Member De Los Rios, followed by Member Evans, and then Member, I'm sorry, it was Member Chavez Peterson prior, and then De Los Rios, then Evans, then Morones.
Am I next now, Chavez?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so first I'm a little confused on where we are with emotions. I remember, so maybe we could, I still we're in discussion, but maybe I can make another motion to see if it clarifies. And Commissioner Roberts, in terms of allocation, I think many times we compartmentalize, you know, you're either Latino, whatever. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff. I mean, I don't even think we know each other enough in this commission. So to your point, Commissioner Taylor, and I'll just share it now. You know, I have family members, my sister's children are in the foster care system right now. I have another, you know, like, and you know, many of our own families are dealing with a bunch of different systems. So we can't assume that people in this commission don't have lived experience from all sorts of different systems that we or our families are directly impacted by. So, so again, we've got a lot of work to do. My motion, if I could be clear, and I don't want to say 1 seat or 2 seats. I think let's agree on what the gaps are. And my recommendation, and I want to thank Commissioner Santos as one of the few Native American voices on this commission to say, let's get to work. We're in this for the broader picture, and the fact that she's, you know, willing to not add another seat is commendable. So my motion is that we agree that the gaps that have been identified that we need to fill are Latino voices, API voices, and to Commissioner Giles's point, we've seen an increase of hate crimes in the API community with the current president's, you know, quote, mentioning of the China flu, et cetera, et cetera. So we have seen a spike and a targeting of that community in particular. So my recommendation or my motion is that we identify the gaps of Latino, API in terms of ethnicity, geography, it's D1, D3, and D5, and that they're, you know, the youth category, I forgot the bracket, but 24 to 40 something as the gap. I think if we agree on those gaps, then we can then go through the next steps in the process. I know staff has some recommendations. There's going to be some applicants in the queue that might fit a couple of boxes. They might be young and they might be API, or they might live in D3 and be Latino and be young. Like, so we have no idea how many boxes we're going to be able to check off, but we first must agree on what the gaps are, and then figure out the next step. So my motion is that we identify those gaps and take a vote and agree that that's the framework, and then we move forward on next steps.
Commission Member Chavez Peterson, if I could ask a clarifying question of you, please. The original motion included Latino, API, youth, districts 1 and 3. There was an amendment that was accepted to also include Native American. are you doing a substitute motion to your original motion, or were you endeavoring to clarify the original motion?
I guess I could clarify, or I could make a new motion, and I was going based on Commissioner Santos's point that she doesn't think it's super critical. I mean, I recognize that according to just demographics, Native Americans are technically overrepresented. I do believe because they're the native people of this land that they've been genocide, and that their voices are critical as we move forward. But if for the sake of moving us forward, I was, I guess, clarifying the motion by removing Native Americans from the category and adding D5, which is a district that our board chair raised. I'm on my phone, so I can't see the graphic right in front of me, but I know D1, D3 were gaps, and our board chair, I mean, our commission chair mentioned D5. So that's what I was trying to do.
So then that would be a substitute motion to your original motion, which would require a second.
I second it. This is Estela de los Rios.
There's hands raised.
Madam Chair, you have Commission Member Roberts, and you also had, you still had Commission Member Evans, Morones, Roberts, and now Harris with their hands raised. We have a motion and we have a second, and we can undertake discussion on that motion.
Okay. In that order, it's, what time are we?
We are at 10:57, Madam Chair.
Okay, great. Let's continue with the discussion, because our goal is today to agree on the, I'm hoping our goal today is to agree on this criteria that we're going to use so we can move forward here. Were there any other speakers to this motion?
Madam Chair, we had Commission Member Evans, Commission Member Morones, Commission Member Roberts, and Commission Member Harris.
Okay. Can we go in that order, please?
Evans speaking. A statement was made. I'm having problems. I keep fading in and out. But I was really, really offended by the statement about that Black women should give up their seat for Black men. This is so stereotypical, divisive, that, you know, we've had to suffer for generations since 1619. I would hope that my fellow commissioners would not be that insensitive in terms of using that kind of stereotypical hatred in terms of Black male, Black female, you know, interaction. I think it's, you know, it's very heartbreaking to hear that kind of a statement. Those are the things we're trying to overcome as commissioner members. And quite frankly, as human beings.
Okay.
And I would think if we used it in terms of maybe Latino men or Latino females should do this, that, and the other, I think that person would be highly offended.
Duly noted. Thank you. Thank you. Next.
Next in the queue would be Commission Member Morones.
Yes, thank you. I think there was somebody before me though. Maybe not. Okay, so anyways, I really liked what Commissioner Ortiz said about the Native American community. And I agree, I wish that Norma would have stuck with her initial proposal that included the Native American community. And my statement as to the last comment, I stick with the fact that the African American Black community is way overrepresented. And so I meant no offense. When Michelle McCurdy spoke at the beginning, she is on my board. And just this past weekend, as the weekend before, we were approached and we were confronted physically by protesters. And I said, you got to bring this up, what's going on? And it's continued to go on. I was shot twice during the Black Lives Matter protests, and I'm out there every day, not every other day, every day, with you know, the walk that we do for Breonna Taylor, et cetera. We're confronted all the time. And let's not forget that on November 4th, there's going to be all sorts of people in the streets because we know the elections aren't going to be decided officially. So we need to move forward. And I think that we need to decide, like Norma was saying, you know, are these the things that we agree on? Maybe we're not going to agree on who the people are, But the fact that the African American Black community is way overrepresented, and it just happens to be predominantly female. So that all I was saying was, well, you know, if somebody wants to switch gender, that's okay. It's not to be offensive. I work with the Black African American community all my life, and I will continue to do so. So the Latinos, the Asian Pacific Islander community, the Native American community, and if they could be in those districts that are underrepresented, that'd be terrific. I think somebody mentioned that, and if they could be young people, that's even better, because that way we eliminate a lot of the categories.
Okay.
And yeah, let's move on. Let's move
All right.
on.
Next.
Next speaker is Commission Member Roberts.
Okay, I just wanted to kind of remind everybody the way that the proposal I put forward last time was that we would go through and we would select individual communities and basically throw them into a basket and then you know, randomly vote on each one of those as a commission as being one of the 4 representative organizations. So right now we've got a motion on the floor to actually identify a whole bunch of those different organizations, or I'm sorry, different communities. And we now, you know, we're basically circumventing what we already agreed to would be a good way to solve this.
Some results.
Oops, sorry, hang on. Google just yelled at me. So I think what we need to do is step back, maybe withdraw the motions, and with the exception of adding, I hadn't even proposed that they would be voted on up until we pull them and say, okay, do we need representative from the Hispanic community? And then we vote that, yes, we pick that. And then we pull out, you know, the next name would be maybe Asian. That way everybody has an opportunity to put forward what communities we think need to be represented. And then we have kind of a vote to make sure without any kind of weighting factor, you know, because one would be first or second or something like that. And, I mean, that was the whole idea of my proposal last time, was to try to avoid this, you know, kind of bickering about, okay, we need this one, we need this one. No, we need this one, we need that one. And by trying to just kind of make it I don't want to use random, but just kind of as a weighted based approach to everybody make an agreement that these are the communities that we need to work with, and try to find a particular thing. That way we don't say, okay, we need to have 3 of the Black women step down and be replaced by Black men. That's not the right way. That's not what I had in mind. That's not what I want to see.
Okay. I think
I'm the only one talking, not the only one talking.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner
May we call for the question? Gwen Sanders speaking. Madam Chair, may we call for the question?
Yes.
If she's calling for the question, we do move to the vote then on the pending motion. The substitute motion for, to recap, is to identify the following, to agree that the following are identified gaps of representation: Latino, API, geographic districts D1, D3, D5, and youth. That was a motion, that was a substitute motion that was seconded by De Los Rios. We'll go ahead and begin the call of the vote. Santos?
Aye.
Ortiz? Angel and Troy? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Gore?
Yes.
Desert?
Aye.
Watson?
Aye.
Evans? Evans?
Aye.
Nash?
Yes.
Morones?
Yes.
De Los Rios?
Aye.
Roberts?
No, particularly because we're not following the procedure we followed previously. We voted on previously.
Sanders?
Yes.
Chasen?
Yes.
Clark? Clark?
Yes. Sorry.
Taylor?
No.
Murray Ramirez?
Yes.
Chavez Peterson,
Yes.
Essa,
Yes.
Garcia,
Aye.
Troy, Harris,
Aye.
Stefan,
Aye.
Hassan,
Yes.
Gillies,
Aye.
oh dear. Could you repeat that, please?
Aye.
Thank you. Katula,
Yes.
was Katula yes?
Yes.
Arton. I believe Ms. Arton may have left the meeting. That motion carries with the following count. 21 in favor and 2 opposed.
Okay.
So the next step would be to agree on the process for the nominations of the individuals. There are 4 seats that, oh, for the record, Samuel Choi put in the chat box aye. It looks like maybe his audio wasn't working, but we'll note Samuel Choi was aye. The next step in the process was to establish the process for the nominations based on the identified areas, the identified communities underrepresented on the commission. It would be, how would the commission like to move forward in processing, in nominating individuals? There are 4 individuals that, based on the prior actions of September 8th, that would represent the areas of, would be focused on to be representative of or fill those gaps that you've just identified. There was 1 individual nomination that was to be nominated that may not necessarily align with those identified underrepresented groups, but had other qualifications and other factors that warranted their nomination and inclusion onto the commission. In hearing some of the remarks at the last meeting and during the course of the meeting of how to continue to move forward, staff has some recommendations or some suggestions for your thought, if you would like. We could send the commission on Friday all the applications that have been received to serve on the commission, removing those members that have just most recently been appointed. We did receive an additional application this week. We would forward to the commission, we could forward to the commission on Friday, September 25th, all applications received as of 5 p.m. on Thursday, the day before. Commission members would review the applications and could create a list of up to 5 individuals for commission consideration. I will tell you there are approximately 35 or 36 pending applications. Staff can provide the commission a form to assist you all in identifying individuals to address the current areas of identified underrepresentation, and provide also that spot for the 1 individual that is proposed for consideration without being affiliated with any particular underrepresented community. Each commission member would then send us, or me, their list of no more than 5 individuals by the following Wednesday, September 30th at 5 p.m. Staff will compile the members' lists, noting if certain names are identified multiple times. Staff will include the compiled list as well as the corresponding applications in the agenda materials for the October 6th meeting. The commission makes nominations from this compiled list at the October 6th meeting. The commission can nominate a slate for vote or can make motions for each individual nomination, but that would allow the commission to consider and potentially make their nominations for the 5 remaining seats, which would then be forwarded to the Board of Supervisors for confirmation, so that the commission could have potentially those 5 nominees present at their second meeting in October. Madam Chair, it's up to the commission on how you all would like to proceed on a process, but we provide that just as food for thought and to get the discussion started.
Okay, let me start with my comments as chair. With over 38 plus years of human resources experience, so I've evaluated applications and qualifications. In regards to the criteria, I would suggest that everyone review the applications again based on the criteria this time. And the only challenge that I have in just reviewing the current applications and resumes, can you hear me? It's going to be very difficult identifying those who are in the different districts, because not everyone indicated what district they were affiliated with.
All but one did.
Excuse me?
All but one had a district affiliation on it.
Well, someone had, there was a couple of others. Now, how are we going to measure or evaluate age? How do you see that in here? I don't see it. I mean, staff, how did you get to the conclusion about the age? How did you identify age? I'm just saying that that's not reflective in the information provided by the applicants. At least I don't see it.
The age was provided to us as self-identified by the commission members.
Okay.
The application for appointment, I don't believe, has necessarily an age. What the commission could look at is whether or not they, the applicants are involved in groups, or whether it's employment or other nonprofit activities or other types of groups that address or include youth issues.
Okay. Okay. I just want to make sure we apply the criteria that we've agreed to fairly and consistently, and it's defensible.
Madam Chair?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a recommendation that maybe the staff contact those 35 applicants and tell them that we're in another process, and ask them what district they're in, or that they identify, you know, as being in, because it might be where they work or live. And then the other one saying if they're comfortable giving us their age group or something like that, without saying that could be a determining factor, because I think that could taint their answer.
So
But just saying, hey, listen, we're going to the next step. What district do you identify with? And if you're comfortable, tell us your age category. You know, something like that.
Just to verify.
Right. Okay. And have the staff do that. That way it's, you know, not one of us.
Right, right. Okay. Does everyone agree with that? Those are my only concerns. I just wanted to make sure that we glean the kind of information we need to make, you know, to make the decisions we need fairly and defensively.
Madam Chair?
Yeah, they had 2 hands up, Madam Chair. You had Roberts and Harris.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the proposal that the county has put forward to allow us to better evaluate our applicants.
I second the motion. This is the motion. Chavez Peterson.
Thank you. Any discussion? All right, let's call for the vote.
Madam Chair, prior to our vote, may I have a clarification as to what the motion is, so I feel comfortable in voting reasonably?
Yes.
Thank you.
Claudia, could you clarify the motion?
Madam Chair, the process would be staff would send the commission members on Friday, September 25th, all applications for appointment applications received by 5 p.m. on Thursday, September 24th. Each commission member reviews the applications and creates a short list of up to 5 individuals for commission consideration. Staff can provide the commission a form to assist members in identifying individuals to address current areas of identified underrepresentation, as well as identifying one individual that is proposed for consideration without being affiliated with any particular underrepresented community. Each commission member sends staff, me, their list, Claudia Silva, their list of no more than 5 individuals by Wednesday, September 30th, 5 p.m. Staff will compile the members' lists, noting if certain names are identified multiple times. Staff will include the compiled list as well as the corresponding applications in the agenda materials for the October 6th meeting. The Commission makes nominations from this compiled list at the October 6th meeting, and the Commission can nominate a slate for vote or can make motions for each individual nomination. That was the process based on all the prior discussions that staff had put forward for your consideration. Separately, I will note anybody who wants to apply prior to that deadline would do so under the same provisions that everybody else applied, which is through the clerk of the board application.
Okay.
Madam,
go ahead.
I hate to interrupt you, but this is Gwen Sanders again. I noticed that you had brought up things that would pinpoint more the criteria that we had the objective of trying to reach: age, diversity, gender, and I don't seem to recall hearing that in the motion as Sylvia read it. Did I miss it somewhere? Or are we not going to try to continue to move forward on the criteria that we have been speaking of part of this morning?
So for clarification,
Claudia?
yes, okay. The current area, the gaps have been identified. So those would be put on a table so that commission members, as they review the applications, can review them with an eye on those areas that have been already identified in the prior motion as the gaps.
Right, okay.
Generally, on the applications, the district in which the person resides is noted. We can look at the applications, and if that is not noted, we can determine whether or not they've provided an address that would allow us to deduce their district and provide that to the commission members.
In regards to age?
In regards to age, there's no identifier on the application regarding age. We would suggest that when you see that column or that table, that the commission look at the applications to see whether or not the applicants are affiliated with or sit on or somehow aligned with youth organizations or employers or other types of community service related to youth.
And if that's not the case?
We'd be open to recommendations or suggestions by the commission as to how they would like us to proceed in looking for identifying youth.
When I went through them before.
Madam Chair, if I may interject again, I thought one of my fellow commissioners had suggested that we send something to these applicants asking them for specific information. And I thought I heard your reply, Sylvia, that you could do that. That would help us know that we are working under the guidelines of the criteria that we have put in place. And we won't have to guess based on their affiliates of clubs and organizations or the length of time they've lived in San Diego County, what age grouping they may fall within.
Interestingly, you may be falling into some issues with age discrimination and other things that we're supposed to be fighting here too. So
I do understand there's a thin line or thin ice that we're on, but again, if we have a criteria, it's helpful if we have the resources that will help make a positive assessment.
I understand that, and I was able to find a lot of them through LinkedIn and Facebook and things to try and get a better idea of the aging, but only an idea. I agree.
Thank you.
And for us to determine that we have a gap between the age of 25 and 44, that information had to come from somewhere.
Well, yeah, that was self-identified data from our commission right now. So that was us saying, yeah, I'm X.
Okay, so why wouldn't we not apply that to the applicant pool?
Because it's not on the application is the issue. Like I said, it's really this fine line that we've got to kind of walk here. So
can we add it to the application then?
I think your original comment of asking the county to go back and asking for self-identification information from those applicants might be good, but then in the long term, I bet we're going to hear some negative ramifications from that ask.
Good morning.
Is Rachel here? Attorney Witt, can you comment on that particular piece?
Sure, thank you. Good morning. At this point, right now on the floor is a motion and which has been seconded regarding the county process, which does not include that additional step regarding the age inquiry. And my recommendation would be that the commission take action on the motion that's presented, and then staff can follow up in terms of trying to find a way that would enable us to provide some guidance with regard to being able to figure out and provide some clarity on that particular criteria without running afoul of any, running into any potential issues.
Okay.
So your comment would be that we would leave the existing motion in place. Since I made that motion, I'd like to understand that.
Yes, exactly. So it would be the motion as you presented it, which is to adopt the county's recommendation related to the process.
Okay. Understood.
Counselor, is it possible to amend the motion? That way we find out the ethnicity and the age, because we don't want the overrepresented to continue adding to the overrepresented, for example.
Right.
So is it possible to add that to the motion? To find out their age group and ethnicity and where they live. Is it possible to amend that to the motion?
So at this point, you have identified the underrepresented groups, and so will be
and overrepresented and the overrepresented.
Right.
Well, for purposes of the motion that was just acted on and that your commission adopted, it was to identify underrepresented groups. Now that those underrepresented groups have been identified, then you will review the applications with those groups in mind. It doesn't necessarily mean that each seat has to meet a particular category. It's that you've identified what the underrepresented groups are, and in reviewing the applications, you will be looking at a whole host of things with also the eye of these underrepresented groups that your commission has identified as things that you would like to see in terms of meeting the mission of your commission, which is to promote the diversity of this commission. So I don't want you to think it's a legal mandate that any person that is eventually nominated has to meet a specific criteria or quota. What we're doing is we're just identifying as a commission those groups that you feel should have more representation on it and reviewing the applications with that understanding.
Madam Chair, may I ask this question? Is it too late to ask the applicants that are already submitted to give us a little bio about themselves? Maybe that would help us narrow down whether they will fit into the criteria that we're hoping we can fulfill and continue to move forward with this committee without being a violation of any civil rights bills, because I would never want us to violate anyone's civil rights or liberties.
I've had my hand up. This is Commission Member Harris.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's no problem. May I be acknowledged to speak? I've had my hand up for quite a while.
Absolutely. Commissioner Harris, and I see Commissioner Roberts.
I've spoken.
In that order, please.
So Commissioner Roberts, I think I get the concerns being raised by, I believe, Commission Member Ms. Gwendolyn, I think it was, who's been speaking.
That is correct.
Yes, I totally understand your concerns, and I appreciate your care and understanding for the age diversity on this commission. As a millennial myself, I firmly think it's critical and important. And as someone who works with many youth across this county and has been a part of the upbringing of this county, literally raised by this county, I think that it's critical that we have young people represented on this commission. I think that I think we're having an issue with the applications for boards and commissions in the county and the lack of this question of age being there. However, I do think, Commissioner Gwendolyn, that I would take responsibility, and I hope my other fellow millennials that are represented here, specifically in that 25 to 40 age range, I happen to be 27. I think that it's critical to ensure that our young people are represented, and I will take personal responsibility, and I hope my other millennials will as well, to ensure that even though there's no question there of age, that I hope to elevate those voices that are that are young, that are millennials, to the application process. And so I think that it's on all of us to kind of do this work to bring these people to the table, qualified applicants, and uplift them when we feel that, as I did last week with Estela de los Rios, uplift them when they've applied. So I will take responsibility here, to Commissioner Member Roberts' point of moving forward. I'd be open to moving forward because I'm willing to take that responsibility to elevate the youth voices, the young people that will apply, that I don't know who has applied, I don't know their ages, but I will personally go out and recruit some young people to apply and elevate their voices in this process over the course of the next 2 days. So I don't know, if that matters, but I did want to say that, Madam Chair, that I think that if we can't get the question of the age right now, I'm willing to make that commitment. And I hope my other fellow millennials will make that commitment with me to go out and recruit some young people to apply for this commission. And I will elevate their voices through my platform as a commissioner. Thank you.
Great. Perfect. That's great. To ensure that we have representative in the pool. Yeah. I'm sorry, Commissioner Roberts?
Can we call the question, please?
Yes, call a question, please. All right. Any other questions, comments? Can we proceed with the vote?
Sorry about that, I was on mute. Commission Member Ortiz.
Yes.
Santos?
Aye.
Jones? Gore?
Aye.
Desert?
Aye.
Watson?
Aye.
Evans?
Yes.
Nash?
Yes.
Morones?
Could you repeat the motion, please?
The motion was to put forward staff's recommendation of steps in regards to sending the commission on Friday, September 25th, all applications that had been received by 5 p.m. on Thursday, September 24th. Each commission member reviews the applications and creates a list of up to 5 individuals for commission consideration. Staff can provide the commission a form to assist members in identifying individuals to address the current areas of identified underrepresentation, as well as identifying one individual that is proposed for consideration without being affiliated with any particular underrepresented community. Each commission member sends staff their list of no more than 5 individuals by Wednesday, September 30th, 5 p.m. back to staff, which is me. Staff will compile the members' list, noting if certain names are identified multiple times. Staff will include the compiled list as well as the corresponding applications in the agenda materials for the October 6th meeting. The commission makes nominations from this compiled list at the October 6th meeting. Commission can nominate a slate for vote or can make motions for each individual nomination.
Thank you. Yes.
De los Rios? De los Rios? Roberts?
Yes, ma'am.
Sanders?
Abstain.
Chasen?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Murray Ramirez?
Yes.
Travis Peterson?
Yes.
Essa?
Yes.
Garcia?
Yes.
Troy,
Yes.
Harris, Harris,
Member Harris, aye.
Stefan,
Yes.
Hassan,
Yes.
Gillies,
Yes.
Katula,
Yes.
Arton. I believe she's left the meeting. So that motion carries with
This is Estella. I was having audio difficulties. Mine's a yes.
oh, thank you. (23) in favor, 1 abstention.
Great.
Motion carries.
Wonderful. Okay.
So staff will provide like a table format so that as the commission members are reviewing the applications, they can take whatever helpful draft notes that they want to make in regards to, as they review those applications, what they
Excellent.
can do.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. We're good for the order? Are we going to adjourn?
I'd move to adjourn.
Early?
Oh my God, we're half an hour early.
Hey,
There is a
Madam Chair,
balance.
Yes.
Madam Chair, this is Member Harris. I would like to ask that we adjourn in remembrance of Supreme Court Justice Ginsburg. We appreciate her leadership
Yes.
for a very long time across this country, and she certainly will be missed by many of us. And I would like to ask that we adjourn in remembrance of Supreme Court Justice Ginsburg. Thank you.
In her remembrance. Oh, just one moment of silence. One moment. Meeting adjourned.
Bye, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, commission members. Have a
Great
good day.
job. Great job
Bye,
today.
everybody.
Thank you. Have a great afternoon.
All right.
You guys take care. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.